We are live. We are live. Bruins lose 5-4 to Florida.
We gotta stop doing this, Evan. We gotta
We do have
stop.
to
We
stop
gotta.
doing
We
this.
have to do this.
This needs to end. We need to stop doing this. But this is the last time for a while. So at least, well, not a while. We might do some other live ones, but after a game, no games to jinx because they're going to the Olympics right now. Poke the Bear. Presented by Prize Picks. Use that promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. I'm Evan Marinofsky. That's Conor Ryan. Conor coming remote out in San Fran in a hotel room. What is up?
Evan, I'm doing well. How you doing?
Doing great. Doing great. You're, what is it, 7 p.m. that time?
Yeah,
I don't like,
7:25. Yeah. So I was up
we can
at.
go all night. We can go
I was
all
up at.
night.
I was up at 4:45 a.m. this morning because we have to get buses from San Francisco to San Jose, which people haven't been to the West Coast or the Bay Area. It's a long friggin' way. It's like if like the Patriots had like the Super Bowl at Gillette. I don't know why they would. It'd be like, all right, like everyone, like the convention center is in Boston, but every day you're taking the shuttle out to like Worcester. That's essentially what we're doing. We're going
In
to the
traffic.
Palladium.
In
Yeah, exactly.
traffic.
So no, it's very busy. A lot of fun though. It's definitely a sprint to the finish line, I would say, but taking it all in stride. People are following me on social media. I'm doing day in the life videos, journals, stuff like that. So if you're following along or you haven't yet, you can find all of my stuff over there as I continue to get ready for Super Bowl 60.
That's right. That's right. Go follow Conor on TikTok. He'll post the TikToks on Twitter and Instagram and Day in the Lives. They're fascinating stuff. And some Bruins were included in the one
Yes.
that one that you just dropped. Kevin Bryant says, please stop doing post-game lives. We lose every single one. It's true. It's true. I knew when they went to the shootout, they were cooked. Like we were
Yeah.
not going to come on and have a win. Bruins lose 5-4. I do see a lot of people saying, hey, you got a point out of it. You were down 2 in the third. I do think there is something to that. You were shooting yourself in the foot in the second period, and you give up a shorthanded goal and 2 power play goals. You finally cash in on a power play goal in the third. You're 1 for 7 tonight. No complaints tonight about lack of power plays, even though obviously we'll get into the McAvoy hit on how that was only 2 minutes, not a 5, and you were killing a penalty after that. But I mean, you got a point out of it after being down 4-2 game before the Olympics. I don't know. I don't have a huge problem with this. It's not great. It's not great. We'll get into the shootout things in a second. I don't know why Pastrnak didn't go. That didn't make a lot of sense to me at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, you come out of Florida with 2 out of 4 points. Not great. You blew a lead in one. You came back in the other. Your thoughts, Conor?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably say it's just like okay, right? I think you can spin the positive, but I looked at this, these last two games as a great opportunity for this group, right? You look at how well they've been playing throughout this stretch, right? You're able to go into the Olympic break feeling good about your game. And like, we talk about like the group chat we had during the Stadium series, but like the first couple minutes of that second period when they go up 5-1, I was like, is this team like actually legit? Is this like the game where afterwards I write like, buckle up, everyone. This team like might be going on a run, or they're a lot more legit than we thought, right? And so, um, you look at the way they lose that game, right? Yeah, you get a point, but I don't know if anyone felt great about that one. And yes, we can talk about the refs, the calls, all that sort of stuff. I know this is my first time actually doing the pod since the Stadium
I
series,
was
so I just feel
gonna
like I'm kind
say,
of catching up.
you didn't. You haven't got
I,
to get it off your chest.
Yes, it's been pretty hectic, a little busy here, but I look at that game and like once you like sleep on it a little bit, you're like, all right, you still need to get your shit in order and not let a game like that slip away, right? Like you can talk about the calls, what have you. You can't blow a 5-1 lead, especially knowing how good Tampa is on the power play. You got to clean some of your own shit up. So I think that game was more frustrating than anything. Entertaining, yes, but frustrating because if you just played a more disciplined game and you come away with you win 6-3 or something like that, that's a legit win. I know you can say that playing outdoors, all that stuff, maybe negates the matchup, whatever it may be, right? If they went to I don't even know where Tampa's arena is now. I call it Amalie Arena still, but if they went to like an actual road game in Tampa and smoked them on their home ice like that, that would be pretty legit. Now for a game like this, yeah, I think it's kind of glass half empty as far as letting that point slip away. Then you look at this game, right? Yeah, like it's encouraging that you're able to get a point out of it. You're rallying the third period, but still, like you went 1 for 7 on the power play. You gave up a shorthanded goal. Yeah, your special teams weren't there. You once again struggled tremendously on the PK. Right? They scored 2 out of their 3 opportunities. And this is a Panthers team that's been reeling, right? Like they had lost 4 or 5 in a row going into this one. Like, yeah, like they're staying the course. They've got 2 points. You can spin as a positive, but it was right there for this team to come out of this Florida trip with 4 points. You deliver a statement on a national audience against the best team in the East, I think, in Tampa. You punch them in the mouth. And then also you go down to Florida and you put the nail in the coffin against a team that's really been struggling. You really put them on the ropes if you come in with 2 points there. And so, again, like you can spin the positives. You can talk about, I know someone made the point, like they're missing the top 2 centers. I get it. I just feel like this was an opportunity for them to take another step forward. I've just been waiting, Evan, for them to like take a step forward, and we can not talk about like that they're treading water or we need to see more out of them. We're still like, I think, in that state of limbo where we know they're good, we know they're competitive, but I want them to see what they can do moving forward. And it feels like you left some points on the table here.
Sunday's game again in Stadium Series, that's where it felt like you were, as you were saying, the belt to ass. Like that was where you were going to make your statement, and they didn't. And then, you have tonight, as you said, where you're shooting yourself in the foot in the second period. A shorthanded goal goes in, 2 power play goals go in, and you're just not quite getting there. I do kind of agree with Jack D, though. Like, he's been positive the last couple of weeks in our comment section, which is, we appreciate. And he says, I don't think we're watching the Stanley Cup champions, LOL. And I agree. And I think if you take out the circumstances of the last 2 games, which is not true, but just bear with me, you'll take 2 out of 4 points in Florida. The problem is, Connor, it's right before a break. And you would have liked to have gotten a win there and taken 3 of 4, or obviously 4 of 4. And I think that's where it's depressing. Like that's where it's tough. That's right. We want the cup. That's right. So that's to me where like there's more left to be desired on this. I did see another comment saying this team does need an emotional and sort of mental and physical break. And I agree. And I know Sturm was sort of worried about them coming out tonight and game before a break. It's like, the Friday before a long vacation in school. It's like, is everybody really focused here? Is everybody ready? And credit to them, they fought back in that third period. You just would have liked to have seen more, and to go 1 for 7 on the power play too, is difficult. Another thing that people have been mentioning, and we'll kind of dive into this as the night goes along, Zaka and Lindholm being out the last 2 games. It's been noticeable face-offs wise, PK wise, power play wise. Guys are up in spots they normally aren't. Give Hustadinov credit though. That breakup in OT, man, he's got some wheels.
Like he's a fun guy to root for, right? Like just the motor he has, and it's encouraging to see a guy who just has that skill set and it's paid off, right? Like you noticed it last year, but he's a guy who's on pace for what, like a 30-point season, right? For his first like legit full year in the NHL. And if you just play that way, like you're going to generate offense. Like what we said, very different player, Evan. But like Nick Ritchie, if you're just chilling at the net front, by God, you can get 10 goals. If Hustadinov has those wheels and skates his ass off like he does on every shift, he's going to make things happen, positive things happen down both ends of the ice. Encouraging to see him do that once again in overtime.
Hustadinov is Nick Ritchie. Start it now. That's the that's the comparison.
You said it. You said it. I didn't.
Apples and apples. Same player. Same
apples to player. As Phil Leotardo says, apples to bowling balls.
Little bit different. Connor Hickey, your question about what is Hustadinov's ceiling? I like the spelling of ceiling on that. I get it. It's late at night. We're not gonna make fun of that. I think Hustadinov projects, just real quick. I think he projects.
Brad Marchand.
That's exactly it. Yes, Brad Marchand or Nick Ritchie. There's no in between. I think he's a very good middle six, slot him anywhere, wing center type guy. I don't have a player off the top of my head. I don't. I need the Hustadinov moon picture.
I don't think it would hit the same way. You can't do the moon picture there.
Sequels aren't as good as the originals.
No.
Do you have a player in mind for a ceiling for him? I don't off the top of my head. Nathan Gerby. I don't have a right off the top of my head player, but just
I do
that I
feel like
think
he
he's
is
a
one of those
middle
third
six
line
guy.
kind of players, though. I think I saw it was mentioned somewhere, though. I don't know if it was on like another podcast or something, but it
Stealing content.
yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna steal it from someone, but I feel like it was like someone tossed out that like what Husinov looks like now is like what Brad Marchand was when he was a fourth line guy. And I'm not saying he's that same player, but I think you look at just maybe like there was like 5 tiers that Marchand took to get to where he was. If like Husinov plays at this level and ends up being like a tier or two advancing where he is now and ends up being just like a 40-point guy, I could see that because like the motor is there, how strong he is on the puck for being a smaller guy. Like you notice the skill set. If he plays that way, I think wherever he's in the lineup, that's why he's been so successful. He doesn't really change his approach. If he's on the fourth line or the third line, he's hounding pucks. He's on the top line, David Pastrnak, he's hounding pucks and he's just dishing it to the best goal scorer in the world, right? So, yeah, I think there's a lot to like about just what his floor is, where it feels like he's a guy that if he's in the mix a couple of years down the road and he's like your third line player, he can give you 15 goals and give you 30, 40 points.
Yeah. No, I agree. I absolutely agree. Um, we'll get into sort of bigger picture stuff in a little bit here. We're getting a lot of comments tonight, which is great. We're gonna have more of these. They won't be after games, thankfully, in the next couple of
I,
weeks.
say, I think someone mentioned that we should just drop like surprise ones. You know how like artists now they're like back in the day it was like a big deal when you released an album. You like hyped it up. And people were like, oh, it's 3:04 a.m. and I'm just gonna drop like a 2 disc album. Like we should just announce. We should just roll it live and see what happens. So
And just see who joins. I
yeah,
know. Does the tweet even get people in? I can't imagine that it does. I think people probably just have
I think
notifications on for
I
Bruins
think
Ringside.
I think that when like the notification hits, they like throw their phones at the wall. They're like, "Fuck, the Bruins are losing this game now."
It's
It's like
Jover.
it's like the final destination. Like they get like a glimpse of what lies ahead on the with the Bruins, and they're like, this is bad.
The light up ahead is a train coming to hit them. Yeah, Marcus, yeah, I agree. Husinov and Minton are X factors the teams will circle on their scouting reports, and you saw it. I thought, Connor, I was excited when they had a 2-on-1 in OT. I'm like, bingo, there's like 20 minutes of the live show. Those are two of your big breakout stars. They score in overtime. That's great. Of course, doesn't happen. Yes, you need Seth Griffith back, as Dan Biz says. I think it's just tough, and I know there are a lot of people in the comments saying like, can't be too mad at this. Connor, I'm kind of with you though. Like, I see that. I get it. On paper, 2 out of 4 points. You're safely in a playoff spot right now. That hasn't changed. The last 2 have been OT losses, so you still have I think was a 7 or 8 game point streak. Like you've been on a run here since
Yeah.
December 31st, which is great. And you enter into the break hot. It's just a little faulty there in the last 2. And over the last bit of time here where they've been blowing leads in the third period or blowing leads in general. I think that's where I don't want to say discouraging, but you would have liked to have gotten a win out of one of these last 2 games.
I think it's all about just being a little selfish, right? This is a team that I think we all agree, right? That
Like, do we have to adjust our expectations?
I mean, no, but I don't know if it's adjusting expectations. It's just kicking yourself when you have an opportunity to just give yourself more breathing room, right? Like I just look at this as a team that we've said all year, right? That maybe they're a fringe team, they're going to be hanging around the picture. Like screw it, they're playing when they're playing and they're dialed in and they're playing a lot of 5-on-5 hockey and they're not 1 for 7 on the power play. This should be a team that's like second or third in the Atlantic. The way like when they are playing that way, like they control a lot of play at 5-on-5. I know like a lot of it is shooting luck when you look at underneath the hood, but they're still, when they're locked in, they're a competitive team in a pretty wide open East, right? And again, I know there'll be comments like, well, they're not going to win the cup. I get that. But like, instead of it being a team that's like, oh, like they're exceeding expectations, they're in the playoff picture, they're way ahead of schedule. I think we all agree with, and it's encouraging that people are taking a very rational approach with this group. But screw it, like this team could be like third or second in the Atlantic. Like if they finish this year on a high note, it's going to be tough when you look at how many games they have on the road. But I think maybe we can slightly shift like not the expectation or the standard, but just what this team could be. We know they're ahead of schedule, but they could really make a good case for themselves if they just end this year on a high note. And I think they have the means to do it. without
And
like
I think,
adding or getting rentals. We know we're not doing that, but like if they just play to their strengths, get healthy and stay healthy, um, I think you got a really competitive group out there. Yeah, they'd be
yeah,
second in the metro. They'd be second in the metro right now,
yes,
and
yes.
you could have landed a knockout punch against Florida tonight. Like again, you get the point. I get it. It's just um, I don't know. I just feel like now when you get into this stretch and you're starting to see the standings separate just a little bit, I feel like if you were able to get 3 points or even four, I know maybe that's being selfish, but this team should be getting selfish. They're playing really good hockey, and now they have to kind of go for it.
Yeah, well, if you want a knockout punch, just go into the draft.
Yeah, that's well done,
Sorry.
Evan.
Um,
You're
Aiden brings
making you're making fun of future Bruin Gavin McKenna now.
That's
It's all
right.
coming up Bruins.
I am, and there's all these theories now online. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Aiden, and this is a good point by Aiden. Am I crazy for thinking this team is better built for the playoffs? Just that wishful thinking. This is the thing, though. Like, you can agree and disagree with this, but this is what winning does. This starts to percolate. It's like the Victor Arvidsson stuff, right? Like, he has a no move clause, but and we've thought all year, they'll find a way to move him somewhere. He's a contender. Well, they're contending here. Like, maybe it is right to keep him, or maybe it's even right. I'm not saying that it is or isn't, but like maybe it is right to extend him. And Aiden brings up a good point where it's I can't take Aiden's thing off the screen because we're talking about it, but there's lots of funny comments. But the biggest thing is like winning is making you think that they may actually be better built for the playoffs now, where they're more physical. And I still think right now this is a first round and out team, which is fine. That if they were out in the first round and made it competitive, people would be mad in the moment, but like you'd take it long term. But I do wonder if like we're starting to see they're built all right. Their power plays better, even though it was 1-for-7 tonight. Like it's grown on me a little bit of this team being a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think the one thing I've learned from covering hockey, and I think everyone can attest to it from watching, the ups and downs of the Bruins in the playoffs is it's a crapshoot. And like, if you tell me this team goes in the playoffs, like, could they pop Detroit? Could they pop Montreal? I think they could. Like, those teams probably better on paper, or at least or record wise. Yeah, but I think you look at the way the Bruins play, how physical they are, the fact that you hope that maybe some of the refs don't blow as many, don't blow the whistle quite as much in the playoffs. I feel like they're a team that could be a tough out. That doesn't mean that you win a round or two, right? But would it surprise me? No, because this game is a crapshoot once you get to the playoffs. And I just think that you've seen how they've played, I think, since the calendar turned to 26. They've been a lot more consistent, especially at 5-on-5 play. They're not struggling as much defensively at 5-on-5. There's still clear warts, right? Like we're talking about the penalties, the issues there. The PK is just it's not taking on water. It's in rough shape right now. But there's still a group that I think you're seeing can be competitive against most teams, right? Like even Tampa, as frustrating as that one was, they were punching them in the face for most of that first 30 minutes of the game. You give up a goal 11 seconds in, and then you dominated them the rest of that period. Like this team has some upside, right? And again, I'd rather them be ahead of schedule and play a 7-game series or even advance, even if it means they're not going to win the cup, than them struggling down the stretch here and not make the playoffs and be in the mix. Like they have the means to not go on a run, but to be a team that should be respected, I think, in the playoffs, even if it is just a one and done kind of year.
At this rate, the way they're up on the rest of the teams that are not in the playoffs, they have no excuse not to make the playoffs. Like they've worked their way into like, no, they're a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
They're a playoff team. That's what they are. I would, if they came back from the Olympic break, someone said it, I had it up on screen a second ago about it's going to come down to who clicks when they come back. If they fall apart, that's an epic collapse. Like if somehow they don't make the playoffs and Florida works its way in, or another team from the Metro, kind of rises up and boots you out, like that's on you. Like you have enough of a lead at this point that you should be in the playoffs. You should be. Now again, like you need Zaka back, you need Lindholm back, you need to make sure that nobody gets injured over in Milan. Like you need things to go your way. But like the pieces are there, and this is something that's been brought up a bit. This is Nev keeps calling us a joke and clowns. You two are a joke. Not even a
I
mention
mean,
of the play that shifted the game.
I mean, listen, I call Evan a joke all the time, so it's nothing
We're
far from,
used to this. I'm used to this. I got meth bears tweeting that I'm going to be fighting Jeremy Swayman. You see that,
It's
Connor?
true. I did see that. So when are you doing it?
I when I go to IHOP and eat the pancakes for the fantasy
That's
loss.
true. Yeah.
That's when I'll be doing it. I was shocked.
Jack D, don't if I could do like the filter and have the clown nose over me, I would do it, but I can't do
Well,
it.
that's how I
Yeah.
felt in that tweet that said I was gonna be the 7th person to fight Swayman. That's how I felt with like the all the professional athletes. I'm like the clown with the military, like behind the
Yes.
wall. That was me. Like I'm that clown.
It's a really long sound effect. It's a loud whistle.
I let that thing go. I was not gonna talk over that. I was like Ken Dryden in the Miracle Call where he didn't talk over the Al Michaels at the end there.
Yeah.
We'll get into the hit. We'll talk about the hit in a little bit, but I do think that they're in a good spot right now. Obviously not ideal the last couple of nights. But you're my goat. Confirmed fan banner captain for game 3 versus Tampa. All right. Well, maybe I will be. Maybe I will be for that. Yeah, we'll get into the hit in a little bit. But before we do, our good friends over at Prize Picks. Where is the read? Oh God, the big game is almost here, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And since the big game is right around the corner, that also means it's your last chance to get into the football action before next season. Close the season out right with Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Super Bowl this Sunday, the big game. Patriots. I don't know if I feel great about them, but Drake May, I think his best is saved for the big game. I think so. So find your community on Prize Picks with the new social feeds feature. You can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups from winners with a single click. Click copy lineups you like or use them as inspiration for your own picks. You can even follow Prize Picks partners like us and tailor fade our picks with just one click. New feature, Prize Picks now has early payouts. If your player gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Good to be right. Good to be right over there on Prize Picks. Mike's Good Music. Burgers are coming. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We got it.
They're coming. No stakes and we riot. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. How many drinks deep are you? Aiden, is that to us? We're working. I don't know.
Brother.
I have a cup of water next to me.
Yeah.
I finished it, but it's gone. That hit, McAvoy looked really bad. Vilmanis, that's how you say his name. TNT.
Just for saying it incorrectly, like TNT was, because holy shit, those guys sucked. That was friggin' embarrassing.
Yeah, McAvoy's just got to watch out there. Can't have his head be going into people's elbows, man. I mean, that's like, come on.
I imagine that Boucher like checked his phone, like the meme of Matthew McConaughey in True Detective, who's taking that huge drag of the cigarette and he's checking the phone. That was him realizing everyone was roasting them, right? As far as the I don't know how you can look at that play and like your first reaction was like, oh, he lost his balance, and you just happen to get a flying elbow right to the face. Like, I can't believe that's your first reaction to that call. Like, even in like the moment it played out, they then showed like the replay multiple times, and Boucher was still like, big old Klutz McAvoy, what's he doing out there? Like, are you kidding me?
It is true, Brandon. The Panthers basically put him in witness protection after the hit. Yeah, we have a Sturm quote from Ty on why Pastrnak wasn't in the shootout. Is this true? I haven't.
Yes, I can bring it up in a second.
Quote, I haven't seen him score yet. I haven't seen any of our big guys score yet. So I guess that's why Pastrnak didn't go in the shootout.
The shootout again is. I don't think it's Marco Sturm's strong suit. I think it's something I think he kind of overthinks it, and just go with the big guns, right? It's like, do you roll with a guy who's on you feel good about going off the vibes, guy who's on a hidden streak, or do you like put David Ortiz in the home run derby? Like, listen, I know Bobby Abreu that one year went off a little bit in the home run derby. I'd rather have David Ortiz out there. It's like, you know, what I'm trying to say, Evan, is Bobby Abreu is just like Andrew Peak, is essentially what I'm saying. But I think when you look at the way these things have some of the decisions, maybe it's the fact that like the Bruins just had their go-to guys for a long time, right? Where it'd be like Pastrnak, Coyle, those types of players. But yeah, that was frustrating when you look at it. It just feels like Sturm overthinks that way too much as far as gut feeling and all those sort of things. And he's usually been pretty good with like gut feelings, right? He put Minton up with Arvidsson and Middlestad, right? Like out of the blue, and they smoked the Flyers. But like when it comes to the shootout, just look at the guys who have like have the most points, something like that. So
Yeah, I mean, there were Pastrnak, Geeky, even Arvidsson. I was like, "What's this?" Opening it, and then he
I'd
scored.
even take Husadinov, right? Like, guys got moved. So
Yeah, and Bobrovsky completely read McAvoy's move, like completely.
Do you want me to read the Sturm quote?
Yes, let's hear it.
Yeah, he said, "Neb 5'2" is a jabron." No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Neb.
He said that. I
No,
thought I saw
it's
that quote
crazy. That's
too.
weird, dude.
Oh,
You must be
love
watching the
those.
live stream. I love you, Neb. Sorry. The quote was, "It was a brutal hit, and everyone saw it. Obviously, I have the opportunity to look at the replay too, and to come out with a 4-4 like that, I just don't understand it. That's all. Made to protect my guys, especially Charlie. And if you target his head, which was clear to see, that just pisses me off. But anyway," is how he ends it.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, yeah, like I don't know how that's not a 5 minute. That's like one of those hits that you like back in the day, like they would break it down and you would see like the slow motion Brendan Shanahan, like elbow to the head completely, like that left his feet. That's like every textbook definition. It's funny, like they had 7 power plays, the Bruins did, but there still are a lot of plays you see with Florida where it's like, man, they get away with so much shit, so much stuff. And you see it on nights like even with 7 penalties, it's still like that's not a 5. And there are tons of other little ones that you see, and it's like, oh my God. And then the Bruins obviously weren't in the playoffs last year. Sorry to bring that up again, but the previous 2 years with those series against Florida, when you play the Panthers during the regular season, you were reminded of how tiring it is to play against them in a playoff series where it's like they get calls and and they do really like borderline dirty stuff and sometimes go over it, obviously with the hit on McAvoy. But oh my God, that team sometimes, and they're on the outside looking in right now. Like the broadcast couldn't stop talking about how they needed 2 points, and they did, but they almost friggin' didn't. So yeah, Florida's kind of out of it.
That broadcast was such a clown show, especially at the start of it, right? I don't know. I don't know how you can look at that play and just get the immediate replay and just double down. But like, I mean, what are you doing, McAvoy? Like, you're gonna just like stumble around like a drunkard, and all of a sudden, like he's just trying to pass through, just elevating his elbow like that, and you have to get in the way. Probably hit him right in the funny bone. Probably hurt him quite a bit.
Little Chips, that's it. I'm driving to Florida and jumping into an alligator's mouth. Sounds like a Jackass skit. Please don't do that.
I think Ty's already doing that at the Rainforest Cafe. I think it's actually a crocodile. I believe it's Nile the crocodile, so it's not an alligator, but close enough.
Well, someone asked earlier, is Ty joining tonight? Probably not. He's in Florida. He's at the
He's legitimately in Florida. So
he is working as we are not. So he is employed. We are.
He might think it's. He might think he's. He could join from the Rainforest Cafe, like when we do like the light show, like the media shower. I don't know if you've been to the Rainforest.
I've never been so lucky. Never been.
You never. There was one in Mass for a while, but never had the chance. That's too bad. No. You got to come down to Florida when the Bruins inevitably like play the Panthers in the playoffs again, right? Like it'll probably end up being this year. They go on a crazy run or something, and they'll meet in the first round for some godforsaken reason. Yes, shout out Burlington Mall. Sorry, I'm cracking up with the comments. No, when we go down there, you have to come with us, and we'll do a live show from the Rainforest Cafe. And as luck would have it, I almost said IKEA. There's an IHOP right by it too.
So I can do my punishment, and we can do
Yeah,
we can go back and forth.
you can get pancakes, you can get Swedish meatballs at IKEA, and you get some zebra ziti at the Rainforest Cafe. It's great.
I've never had it. I want to have it. Maybe you and Ty will be at the Rainforest Cafe, and then I'll come in live from IHOP eating it. Yeah, next outdoor game confirmed. Maybe it's at Rainforest Cafe.
That's too spooky. That's gonna frighten the animals. We can't have that.
I
We
think
don't want. Yeah,
it's a great
we don't want the
idea.
chimps. Yeah.
It is funny. This should get people to want to comment. Obviously, we get a ton of comments already. Comments really run these live streams. Like, if you comment about anything, we'll probably talk about it. You'll just direct the conversation. I was curious, like, people who just listen not via video, which is totally fine and totally like, does this sound okay to them? Like, do they think, like, who are they talking to?
I do have to feel like we have to like actually say what people are when if it's something that's actually legitimately funny. When people are talking about Jim Montgomery's anime trends, we have to speak that into existence so people can drive as they're driving home from work. Like, what the fuck is this conversation like now?
Yes, no, completely. Jack, you didn't miss the steak, by the way. The steak will be it's coming up. I'm gonna time it just perfectly. Like when you're taking a steak off. Funny enough with steak, when I was doing a profile on Will Smith, Ryan Leonard, and Will Vogt when they were at the national program living together, Will Smith was like, "Yeah, I make like a great steak, like all this stuff," and I was like, "Let's hear it. How do you do it?" He's like, "I would never give up. I would never give that information up." So maybe if we hook him up with Omaha Steaks, Will Smith, San Jose Sharks, and BC and St. Sebastian's legend, maybe he will give us his steak recipe. Yeah, this game tonight, it's interesting. Like, and I think we'll go bigger picture on this. Someone said it earlier, and I think we've talked about this a little bit. They're in a, I mean, if you were told in October that they were at this spot at the break, you'd be shocked. You would be stunned, surprised, everything. And I think, obviously the last two games, there have been some bad stuff, but like, I don't know, man. Last month plus, it's hard not to feel encouraged about this team. I know I'm trying to get little chips to not jump in the alligator pit, but like they're in a good spot. They're in a good spot.
Yeah, and I think you've seen them, and it's been encouraging again that there's been a little bit of traction in the standings. I will say, like Columbus is playing well. There's a few teams that I think are actually have closed the gap the last couple of days, which also I think reinforces like the notion of being a little bit selfish. Where if you were able to get 3 or 4 points out of this stretch, where it was right there, kind of in front of you, if you weren't 1 for 7 on the power play and you didn't take a parade of penalties on Sunday, you'd be in a great spot beyond the narratives of like beating a team like Tampa or beating a team like Florida, who again is not, they've been banged up this year, but still you beat them. Everyone kind of raises their eyebrows, right? I feel like you just have another bit of cushion there. And I don't know if right now I can't look up the standings because it will crash my computer, but I think they're 4 points ahead, which is good. You'll take it. But like if you were 6, right, if you feel a whole lot better. So again, it's tough to be like irate or despondent over this. And I think it's good that a lot of people in the comment section are preaching patience, being very rational. I feel like I'm maybe being slightly irrational with maybe having a high standard for a team that is playing without their top 2 centermen. But I think when you look at just the way they've been playing, maybe you just tweak those expectations just a little bit. And I think this team has been competitive all year. But there's times where they've struggled to like seize opportunities. Like they've played a lot of teams where they're missing their key guys. They lost 2 games against Ottawa and they didn't have Chuck out there. Like they've had a lot of games where you're like, oh, okay, they should do pretty well here, get a point or 2 out of it, and they come up short. Like even like that game against the Rangers at MSG, you get a point out of that. We did a live show. No one felt good about that one, right? So
No.
I think those are situations where again, this team's good. You just want to be a little bit more consistent as far as picking up those points.
You do, and I pulled it up on my phone because somehow, thankfully, my phone doesn't crash the computer. Boston is up 4 points on Columbus, 69-65. So what is this? Dan Biss says, Connor, can we get the story when you and Craigie bought the same pants and when someone drew a dog on the whiteboard and Marchand was doing push-ups after a game? What is this? I the pants thing I remember you saying, but I don't remember the second part.
It was the most chaotic post-game locker room. It was like December 23rd, it was the last game before the holiday break. And again, that was the 22-23 team. So like vibes were always great. I don't go all out like, wearing a full like Christmas suit anymore. I did that like when I was young, and I'm like, wow, you're like a fucking loser showing up to the garden dressed like that. But I had like a little red suit jacket. I had like these like green Christmas like holly kind of colored pants, and I was like, this is a little dapper. I feel good about this one. And then I literally walked in, and David Krejci, all those guys obviously wore like all their Christmas suits. We legitimately had like the same pants on, and we both had like, it was like an Always Sunny where they look across like the dinner from each other, and literally like David Krejci walks by and is like, nice pants. so so there's that, and then like
It's like a Spider-Man thing.
yes, while that was going on, there was like, yeah, like someone drew like a dog on the whiteboard. Like you could literally see in the other room, Martian was just doing push-ups. Like Jake DeBrus like came out of the room and like was shuffling and grabbed a piece of gum. And I was like, did everyone like just like is everyone on like laughing gas? Like what happened after this game? It was very bizarre, but that was just what that team was. It was the Fives are great until it wasn't. Not that
Until it wasn't. Until it wasn't. We're getting a lot of people asking. We're nice pants. We're getting a lot of people asking, need more Krejci accent. We are getting a lot of people asking about Jeannot versus Greer, which I thought was a great fight. Tanner Jeannot does not seem like someone that you'd want to mess with. And you know why? Because I think Tanner Jeannot, you know what he eats for dinner, Connor?
Ooh,
and lunch
what?
and breakfast? He likes his freaking Omaha steaks, baby. Starting the year strong is easier and more delicious with premium portion proteins from Omaha Steaks. Stay satisfied, get energy, and fuel your routine
Man,
with
look at
premium
that.
prepackaged protein delivered to your door from Omaha Steaks. Oh my God, it's convenient. It's delicious.
Look at
It's
that,
beautiful.
dude.
Look at that. Oh, and the bone's in. Support your fresh start with high-quality proteins from Omaha Steaks. Omaha Steaks offers an exclusive lineup of USDA-certified tender steaks, gourmet burgers, versatile chicken, pork, and more, with unrivaled quality and variety, with every bite backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee. They've been America's original butcher since 1917, a family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry.
Mike.
They also, that's right. I can't see the comments. They also carry mouth-watering burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, and we got to run it again.
Yeah, run it again.
And easy to prepare comfort food. Let Omaha Steaks deliver high-quality proteins right to your door. Visit omahasteaks.com and get an extra $35 off with promo code Patriots at checkout. That's OMAHA steaks.com, promo code Patriots. Terms apply. See site for details. We're just going to let this.
Oh, man. I will say, listen, shout out Omaha Steaks. We love them. I mean, look how good that food is. I know they're showing off just how juicy that burger is. The one where the guy has like 4 fries on his plate. If someone served me that with like 4 fries with a full burger, I'd be pretty upset. I'd be like, listen, you make a great burger. Like, you got to give me more fries than that, buddy. Look at that.
Look at the 6 chips. 7 fries. Like, there's not a lot going on there. Like 6 onion rings. Like, yeah. Is that
I definitely know Omaha Steaks didn't plate that because, you know, they'd have just so many different options there.
They would hook it up. Yeah, it's the steak, man. Steak May. Aiden likes hockey. Promo code Steak May. Omaha Steaks would run out of steak if they made the promo code be Steak May, because everybody would be buying it.
Can you imagine, just like, Evan, this is also, again, to talk about being a little bit selfish, but can you imagine, like, Bruins are in the playoffs, they have like an OT win, and we're doing like a live video. I'm at the Garden, right? We got Carl on the whiteboard. Ty jumps in late, derails the conversation. Everyone in the
Carl
chat
would be out of there.
Yeah, Carl would immediately leave. We have all those, but then all of a sudden, everyone's fired up. People got all the libations. They're all fired up in the chat. We'll have a few beers, and then you fire off that Omaha Steak read. Cinema.
Gasoline.
It'd be unbelievable.
Woo-hoo.
I know everyone at home watching this live stream just took a drag of a cigarette. They're like, whoa, that's something.
Just perfect. Like Mad Men, just chain smoking steaks.
Yes.
Because says they should launch steaks out of a t-shirt cannon during intermission. They should.
Just a full ribeye.
Just catch it by the bone.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's I'm excited for the if and
Omaha
when
Steaks?
the playoffs
Yes.
happen. Yeah, and Omaha Steaks. You know, I'm interviewing someone 2 weeks from now, Connor. And for Bruins beat, I'll tell you who it is after. It's a little surprise. I don't want to speak too soon and say who it is because, getting people down is tough. But it's like debating, like, do I play the ads with them? Omaha Steaks, can they be mad at that? Like, I think, 54 seconds, like, they can sit through that. Omaha Steaks, like, what's wrong with that?
It's pretty. I mean, listen, I think you run the risk if you play the ad and the person who you have on. I know you're gonna have a great interview with them, but they're just like, we're not talking hockey anymore. We're talking about this steak.
That's right. What's on your mind with the Bruins recently? I want to talk more Bruins stuff. I feel like we've gone off track a little bit here. The Greer Jeannot fight. Jeannot is a guy I don't want to fight. Like that dude. No thanks.
Also,
once Greer got once Jeannot got Greer like he had him. He had him.
I mean, I liked AJ Greer when he was with the Bruins. He's a very nice guy. Gets it. Great to talk to. All the credit to him that he's always willing to drop the gloves, even if it means he's going to losing fight. He routinely gets his ass kicked on a lot of these occasions. And again, all the credit to him because I sure as hell wouldn't do that spot. But doing that against Tinner Jeannot, I was like, this is going to end badly for BU alum AJ Greer. And sure enough, like some of those right hooks, ouch.
And Jeannot would have cracked him on the last one, but Greer was falling forward and like went under the punch. And Jeannot was like, all right, we're done here. So yeah, I mean, and Aiden's right. Like Greer had all the time in the world to back out of it, LOL, and he didn't. Which credit to him. I mean, like, look, dude stands up. I respect that. And by the way, what AJ Greer's become in Florida, like, become a consistent guy in their lineup. Like, you can't hate on that. So we're not anti AJ Greer, but man, he can throw him, and it's interesting because like I do feel like the addition of Jeannot, obviously the contract is long, but like, he's been valuable. And I think a lot of these guys that we looked at, even AC Mon tonight, 2 goals. We haven't even mentioned he had 2 goals. Like they've earned their keep. And you could, question it, but like their piss and vinegar kind of style, it's working. Like there are nights it doesn't, but they've had more nights that it does.
I was fully expecting them to win like 4-1 after like the McAvoy, like that whole situation where again it's not 5 minutes, you end up being on the PK as a result, and then you end up getting a goal right afterwards from Mikey Asimon, right, his second one. I was like, wow, this team's just gonna have a horseshoe up its butt for this game. You're gonna win like 4-1, 5-1, right? And did not end up being the case, but yeah, credit to the. Again, it's why I think you don't spin the positive beyond the fact that they were shorthanded these last couple of games. Like, you give up that goal 11 seconds in against Tampa, where I think we're all in the press box of Raymond James Stadium being like, oh shit, like this could be bad. And then they storm right back. And then you look at this game, right, where you don't have anything going your way. You don't know how McAvoy's doing. And they kind of even the score and get right back into it. You don't let it kind of slip away. And I think that's one thing you've noticed. This team has its issues. They take a lot of penalties. The PK is not doing that well. There's been multiple games where this team has kind of bounced back. When you look at previous teams, especially the last couple of years, where things don't go right and they let go of the rope and it spirals, and you're like, holy shit. Like, we'd look at this stretch here where they get 2 out of possible 4 points. There's probably been a couple of these games where if this was last year's team, they would have 0 points. They would have coughed up a lead to Kucherov again in the third period, and they would have not come back in this one, right? So, again, you can spin a lot of positives over this stretch, and I think we all are in agreement that this team is definitely competitive. They're in the mix, and there's a lot of reasons to be excited about what they're going to do the rest of this year.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like last year's team against Tampa, after giving up that first goal 11 seconds in, would have lost like 6-0. And it just would have been that.
Yeah.
One thing that's been mentioned in the comments, and I wanted to get to this, the more I watch Matt Poitras, Conor, the more I'm like, that's a National League player. Like, he's been good the last 2 games, and he's been effective. He scored against Tampa. He was effective again tonight. Drew a penalty in the third period.
Moving his feet.
Yeah, like gets to high danger areas, works with the guys he plays with. Like, I do think that when Zacha and Lindholm come back, you do have to figure out where you want him, because I do think they are good with him in the lineup. And I know we talk about potentially trading him or him not having a home here, but I do think it is worth kind of seeing what he's got here. I still want to see more from him.
Yeah, all the credit to him because I think on a previous episode, it was like a week or so ago, I was talking about guys like him and Lysell as part of like guys you just move out to clear space because I just didn't think that they were going to stick here or what have you. And again, it remains to be seen where there's going to be room for him. But if he play like he has the last couple of games, right? Like you see the poise with the puck, you see the skill set that he has. It's encouraging, right? And I think he was all over the ice on Sunday. He was moving his feet again on what day is it? Even Wednesday. I lose track of the days now for Super Bowl week. But no, it's encouraging. All the credit to him. Like about that, his time here in Boston was just either stagnated or he's going to get a fresh start somewhere else. That could be the case, but I agree. Like, I think the most important thing, it feels like that's an NHL level player. Don't know what his floor ceiling is, but he's a guy that should have some value, whether it's here or with another team. And curious to see where he fits in, especially once they get back from the break, if everyone is healthy.
Yeah, because again, Minton has sort of, for this season's team, locked down that third line center spot. Lindholm and Zaka, your top two centers. Do you move Patra to the wing? I see some people saying like Patra for fourth line center. He just doesn't fit the identity of that fourth line. Like he's not your fourth line center. So I don't know. I don't know where he fits. And like, I guess if the only way I guess you trade him, like you're not dealing him for picks, right? You're not like, oh, Matt Poitras for a second. Like that's stupid.
Yeah.
But if you're going to trade him, it would be in a package for someone. Like people keep mentioning like right shot D. I don't know who the right shot D would be. I think Rasmus Anderson was the guy that we were all talking about. You're not sending Poitras to Calgary for like White Cloud. So like I unless it's like Robert Thomas and Matt Poitras like part of that deal,
Straight up.
I don't.
Oh.
Yeah, straight up 1-for-1. Like I don't see that, but he's valuable. There's value there with Matt Poitras for this roster, and I think it's trying to find where he fits, which is one of the biggest things. Anything else that we've not touched on? I think we've hit on anything. Anybody in the comments have anything huge? Last time we did this with Ty, we went like 35 more minutes. We're not going to do that tonight.
No, we're not doing that.
Not doing that. You've been up since
still
4.
Still got a lot of Patriots stuff to write about today, unfortunately. So,
well, let's call it. This has been fun. Live stream always great. Conor, what can the people look forward to from you over at the Globe and Boston.com?
Yeah, you can read my stuff over at the Globe and Boston.com. Well, I've covered every step of the way this Bruins season, even with his extended break. Again, I'm also going to be having, oh my God, look at that. We're also beyond these great steaks from Omaha Steaks. Whew. You can read my stuff about the Patriots. I'm here in San Francisco all throughout the week, going into Super Bowl Sunday, so we have plenty of content there. Any stuff you guys can read, whether it's online, whether it's videos, all that sort of stuff, means a lot. So yeah, read all my stuff there. If you want to follow me on Twitter, X, whatever it's called these days, you can add Conor Ryan _93.
Go do all that. And as Little Chips 999 says, could you ever make a second channel to just chill with us? Maybe that wouldn't be a bad idea. Just chill with the people, man. That sounds like a great idea. Well, anyway, Conor, you go enjoy the Super Bowl. You go enjoy all of that. And to you Poke the Bear listeners, thank you for tuning in live for those who did. And for those listening after or watching after the fact, you Poke the Bear listeners, have a great rest of your week.